Not emphatically, not vocally, not till Republic named and shamed them about their silence over Lance Naik Prabhu's death. Look at this man. He's the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, and as our reporter runs after him to ask him to say one thing, he says not one word. He just keeps running away from the Republic reporters.
All the 9 of the accused have been taken to custody. The primary accused, Chinnasamy, had been picked up by the CID and handed over to the Tamil Nadu cops.
Hello, welcome you watching. This is Exclusive with me, Shavan Sen. Tonight we get you the big story. K. Kavitha of the BRS has now been summoned by the Enforcement Directorate. A blitzkrieg media interaction by K. Kavitha, who says that not she, but her father is now being targeted. All this and much more in this edition, and not just that. Also the big focus right now in Karnataka, where BJP legislator is under the scanner, but he gives the Lokayukta a complete miss. We'll get you the latest. But up first, these are the headlines we are tracking for you at this hour.
उनका अभी एफर्ट ये है कि किसी भी तरीके से ईडी डाल दो, धमका दो, डरा दो, लेकिन हम भी मोदी जी से और भारतीय जनता पार्टी से और पूरे देश की जनता से बता दें कि हम डरने वालों से नहीं हैं।
Summoned by the Enforcement Director, Kavitha launches a scathing attack on Modi government. Trouble mounts for Kejriwal's deputy ED team at Tihar jail for round 2 of Sisodia grilling. In dock for Bribegate, BJP MLA Viru Pakshapa evades questions as Republic confronts him. Pulwama martyr's widow blocked from meeting Rajasthan Chief Minister after U-turn on promises. NCP support to BJP alliance in Nagaland triggers a political war. Owaisi hits out at Sharad Pawar. India's cricket diplomacy on display. Prime Minister Modi watches test match with Australian counterpart. A close watch on what's really happening in Karnataka in a new development at the Bribegate. Lokayukta is grilling Madal Viru Pakshapa and his elder son, Malik Arjun. Lokayukta also questioned Madal Viru Pakshapa on the following questions, like what's the relation essentially between KSDL and his son? Was he aware about his son was receiving money on behalf of KSDL? We've got the full details. The Republic has now accessed full details of the line of questioning that is basically underway. In fact, we'll just quickly go across to my colleague Prajwal, as well as our executive editor Niranjan, who's going to join us from the newsroom, and Prajwal. But before I go across to Niranjan, first let me bring in Prajwal, who's getting us the full details. Finally, Prajwal, he's appeared before the Lok Ayukt. What is it that you're picking up? What is the focus right now as far as this entire investigation goes? Because the Bharatiya Janata Party has come under immense scrutiny, and the fact that for the longest time there was no action that has been taken against the BJP MLA. In fact, he's actually dared saying that there is nothing wrong, that this kind of money is available in every person's house in Karnataka, in the very constituency that he represents.
Absolutely, Shravan, because right now we are still outside the Lokayukta office and it's been over 2 hours since the grilling of Madal Virupakshappa as well as his son Mallikarjun has already begun now. Because the primary questions mainly being outlaid onto the fact stating that what is the relationship between Prashant and the Karnataka Soaps and Detergents Limited. Because essentially the Lokayukta is pointing out to the fact that Prashant is a chief accountant and the chief financial officer of the Bangalore Water Supply and Sewage Board, but what sort of relationships does he have? And apart from which, the complainant Shreyas Kashyap has gone on to lodge a complaint with the Lokayukta on mainly 3 charges. Firstly, stating that the tenders were being inflated. Secondly, to give even these tenders as well, there should be cut money which should be given by Shreyas to these, to Madal Virupakshappa. Initially, the deal was stuck at 1 crore rupees, 1 crore 20 lakh rupees, but it was later brought down to 81 lakh rupees. And according to the complainant, it is also mentioned in the FIR where he directly states that it was MLA Madal Virupakshappa who did in fact go on and instruct Shreyas to approach his son Prashant at the Crescent Road office and then pay him the cut money. So on basis of the complainant, they have formed a questionnaire now and they are grilling Madal Virupakshappa. On the other hand, Virupakshappa had initially gone on to claim through his legal counsel stating that the money which had been obtained at his residence in Davangere belongs to the areca nut plantations where he had cultivated areca nut in a few acres of land as well. So therefore now the Lokayukta is asking him to produce all the receipts towards the growth of the areca nut plantation, the sum of money which he had invested, after which the amount of money which he has received. Because over here they're essentially pointing out that the sum of money recovered is so huge that it cannot be it cannot be brought in over a period of time as well. And also what was 6 crore 12 lakhs and 30,000 rupees which was doing at his residence, from where exactly did this particular money come in? Because the Lokayukta is not only visiting this particular case and it is also visiting these old cases as well. There might be a tally of cases too, because remember that the accused number 5 Nicholas and accused number 6 Gangadhar, who were actually giving bribe, were also found at the Crescent Road offices, and this bribe does not involve the Chemlex Corporation too. So it is the first time in the history of the Lokayukta that not only those who were accepting bribes but those who were giving bribes have also been taken into custody too. So now the Lokayukta is asking as to what is the relationship between the accused number 5 and 6 with Madal Virupakshappa as well. So these are the lines of questioning which the Lokayukta is currently taking here at the office, where the investigating officer is still going on and grilling them, and it is expected to go late into the night is what we get to understand at this point of time, Shravan, because right now he's appeared a week after the questioning as well. And just to give you a perspective as to where we are exactly near the Lokayukta office, where the questioning of Madal Virupakshappa is going here. Even his son Mallikarjun was brought in. Why his elder son was brought in was he also went on to make a statement saying that there was a lot of cash which was received in his account as well. So therefore Prashant was also brought in at this point of time. And now it is also being understood that Lokayukta is also questioning about the relationship between Nicholas and Gangadhar's companies with the Karnataka Soaps and Detergents Limited, because they have established a line of connection which directly points out to the fact that both Nicholas and Gangadhar were the ones who were supplying raw materials for the Karnataka Soaps and Detergents Limited as well. So how for a sustained period of time, for a long duration of time, are tenders being awarded only to these two companies? So this is something which they are planning to nab him, hook him on to, and later the questioning will go on, and even his elder son will not be spared, is what we get to understand at this point of time, Shravan.
That from his response and especially his behavior with the media today, he tried to sort of attack the media, say that he's got heart issues, etc. He hasn't explained where he's been hiding or how he went underground or who was shielding him all this while, isn't it? Even now brazening it out.
Absolutely. Yes, Niranjan, because exactly now when we did go on and question Madal Virupakshappa there, some of his supporters, some of his bodyguards, gunmen who were there, tried to manhandle the entire group of media who were present there, stating that he's a heart patient, do not question him. But we asked him these exact questions. Where were you absconding for all these days? And if you say that you are present in your house, why did the police team who arrived in Davangere not find you at your house? And why was the last call record detail of your mobile phone showing that it was in Chitradurga and not in Davangere? But still, he brazenly went about and stated, Niranjan, over here, going on and saying that he was very much in Davangere and the police had not come to his house. So it is either the fact that the state machinery has completely failed in nabbing the accused, the prime accused in this particular case, or else that, Madal Virupakshappa was not present in Davangere. And therefore now, even the CDR records of Madal Virupakshappa are now being considered here. They are being seen as to where his particular movements are, because it is not only pertaining to the investigation. There is also a hunch where the sources within the know of the investigation are stating that there might be another tranche of huge amount of money which might have also been transformed here, which the MLA was overlooking. So we will need to go ahead, look into the minute details of this case, and it depends on the questioning of the Lokayukta who are grilling Madal Virupakshappa and his son Prashant and his son Mallikarjun at this point of time.
Okay, stay with us. We confronted him. Prajwal was there trying to ask him questions. He seemed very, very worried about the questions that the media was asking him, looked very nervous. Here's that sequence with Virupakshappa, the BJP MLA, as we questioned him on his whereabouts in the last 3 days.
ನ್ಯಾಯಾಲಯದ ಆದೇಶದಂತೆ ಈ ದಿನ ನಾನು ವಿಚಾರಣೆಗೆ
ಸರ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ರಿ ಸರ್ ಇಷ್ಟು ದಿವಸ ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ರಿ
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಗ ಬಿಡೋಣ ಸಾಕು ಬಿಡೋಣ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಗ ಬಿಡೋಣ
ನೋಡಿ ಒಂದ್ ನಿಮಿಷ ನಾನೊಬ್ಬ ಹಿರಿಯ ಶಾಸಕ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ ನನಗೆ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇದೆ ನೀವು ನನ್ನ ಟಚ್ ಮಾಡೋದಾಗ್ಲಿ ತೊಂದರೆ ಮಾಡೋದಾಗ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಮಾಡೋದಾಗ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಗ ಬಿಡೋಣ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಗ ಬಿಡೋಣ
ನೋಡಿ ನನಗೆ ಅರ್ಜಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ದಾಖಲೆಗಳನ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡು ಸರ್ ನನಗೇನು ದಾಖಲೆ ತಗೊಂಡೋಗಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ ನಾನು ದಾಖಲೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾದಂತ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ಈ ದಿನ ಲೋಕಾಯುಕ್ತದ ಮುಂದೆ ಹಾಜರಾಗ್ತೇನೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ
ಸರ್ ಲೋಕಾಯುಕ್ತ ಮುಂದೆ ಇವಾಗಲೇ ಅಪಿಯರ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಸರ್ ಆರ್ ಯು ಅಪಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ದಿ ಲೋಕಾಯುಕ್ತ Sir, where were you all these days? Sir, where were you all these days? Mr. Madal, where were you? Mr. Madal, where were you? Mr. Madal, this is Mr. Madal Virupakshappa there. Clearly, his followers, in fact, are following on the media. His followers are the ones who are, in fact, going on stating that he's a heart patient now. But all one needs to agree over here is that there are questions that are being asked. There are questions that are being asked, which he needs to go on and answer. Because
Okay, so as we stay with those pictures, he's at the Lokayukta. He's being questioned. Isn't it the first time that he's actually appeared before the Lokayukta? Lokayukta, when you spoke to them, clearly said that this was an attempt to bribe. There were details also released, Prajwal, of how the person, the bribe giver, actually recorded the act using his digital watch. Is that correct? That because we are hearing, and this is purely going by reports, that the bribe giver was not allowed to take his phone inside this location where the meeting was happening between the MLA and this person who was trying to catch that MLA's son red-handed. So reports suggest that the bribe giver actually wore a digital watch and beamed the act of giving the bribe through the digital watch. And the Lokayukta also said that they had caught him red-handed on the issue of tender for the Karnataka Soaps and Detergents Limited. This MLA was the chairman of that. Son was allegedly collecting the kickback on behalf of his father, is what the Lokayukta said on record. Now, the courts gave him some reprieve, but what are the facts of the case as we know it? And in the words of the Lokayukta, what was going on? Because they're trying to contest that claim.
Yes, Niranjan, because now when we are looking at it, this entire trap was laid out by the Lokayukta because a complaint was lodged by Shreyas Kashyap stating that there has been harassment. They have been repeatedly going on to demand bribes to go on and supply raw materials for the tender that had to be awarded to Shreyas, and therefore under the directions of the Lokayukta, under the direction of the DYSP and the investigating officer, Shreyas went there, and then while he was offering 40 lakh rupees at that point of time, the Lokayukta sleuths along with the police force stormed into the office on Crescent Road of Madal Prashant, and they caught him red-handed there. They caught him red-handed, and then when they counted the currency, it was 40 lakh in amount, after which again they conducted searches and 1.6 crores was found. So a total sum of 2 crore rupees was found at the time of the raids which was conducted by the Lokayukta.
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you for that. We have some more breaking news coming in. Shravan is joining us with our update.
Thank you very much, Niranjan, as well as Prajwal, for getting us the latest details. Shifting focus now to the other story that we are tracking very closely. Days after prevailing lawlessness in the state of Punjab, Jammu and Kashmir government decided to take action against pro-Khalistani radical leader Amritpal's aide and initiated the process to revoke their armed licenses, as two of his aides had their licenses issued in Jammu and Kashmir. The case has been registered against the supporters of Waris Punjab. They head under the Arms Act for carrying illegal weapons. We'll try and go across to Gursimran for the latest details, as well as Amandeep in a short while from now. But before that, let's just play out the reaction that we're getting in right now.
The Punjab government has sent an official communication asking you to cancel some of the licenses. One license falls in your jurisdiction. What are the details? When was this particular license was issued, and what is the next course of action you are going to do?
जी आपके माध्यम से बताना चाहूँगा that there is a gun license issued to one resident of Taran Taran district in Punjab, and that license was renewed till 2017 only. After that, there has been no renewal of that license. So as on date, that license is not valid. However, we have started the process for cancellation, and that will be done immediately. And as per the coordination with the Punjab police, we will take necessary actions.
सर, जिस तरह से हमने देखा कि 2008 में 10 में जो लाइसेंस इशू हुए, सीबीआई भी उस मामले को प्रोब कर रही है. कई ऐसे लाइसेंसेस इशू हुए जो कि नेशनल सिक्योरिटी के लिए, those are threat to the national securities. So what is the steps you are going to take in the coming days? Because this is one that has come forth via Punjab side. There are many more that have got their licenses issued from your concerned district. So what are the steps that you are going to take in the coming days?
इसमें एक्चुअली जो प्रोटोकॉल है और जो नॉर्म्स हैं वो बड़े क्लियर हैं. हम लोग लाइसेंसिंग अथॉरिटी उन्हीं के हैं जो अभी डिस्ट्रिक्ट ऑफ किश्तवाड़ के रेसिडेंट है. एनीवन हु इज स्टेइंग आउटसाइड, जिन्होंने कभी पहले बनवाया था, दे हैव टू शिफ्ट देयर लाइसेंस टू द करंट डिस्ट्रिक्ट वेयर दे आर रिसाइडिंग इन. सो एज ऑन डेट हम किसी भी लाइसेंस को रिन्यू नहीं कर रहे हैं उन लोगों के जो किश्तवाड़ के रेसिडेंट नहीं हैं, यहाँ के रहने वाले नहीं हैं. सो इवन इन दीज केसेस वी हैव टेकन अ स्टांस दैट देयर विल बी नो रिन्यूअल. दे
Well, as the country is celebrating the 75th year of India's independence, 75 women bikers of the CRPF will cover 5 states in the 1,848 kilometers ride during their journey from here at India Gate to Jagdalpur in Chhattisgarh. Now, this women's bike rally will culminate in Jagdalpur on 25th of March. Here is a special report filed by my colleague Harsha. Take a look.
In what is being called a first of its kind effort, 75 CRPF women daredevils embark on a 1,848 kilometer bike rally.
Making us proud and our country proud are these CRPF daredevils. It's so good to see them as they will be going and Jagdalpur, which is a mouse-prone area, and they have been learning bike riding from past 1 year. The youngest in this troop is of 22 years and the eldest one is of 48 years old. Age is no barrier for these women soldiers in our Indian Army and in our defense forces.
The rally began from India Gate in the national capital and will go on till Jagdalpur in the state of Chhattisgarh. 75 CRPF women daredevils will cover nearly 5 states in the course of this journey, spreading a message of women's empowerment and that Maoism is on the verge of end.
एक्चुअली मैम जिस समय हम लोगों ने ज्वाइन किया उस समय लड़कियां बहुत कम थी सर्विस में. मुझे 30 ईयर कंप्लीट होने वाले हैं सर्विस में. तो उस समय हमारे लिए बहुत चैलेंजिंग था. लड़कियां बहुत कम होती थी. लेकिन उसके बाद फिर धीरे धीरे जब हम सर्विस में आए, सर्विस में आने के बाद फिर कुछ ऐसी मिस हैपनिंग हुई कि मेरे हस्बैंड ख़त्म हो गए. उसके बाद लेकिन मैं सिंगल पेरेंट्स होने के बावजूद मेरे ऊपर बहुत चैलेंजिंग था मेरे लिए ये सब करना. लेकिन एक पैशन था. बुलेट मेरा पैशन है, हम लोगों का सबका ही पैशन है.
The CRPF women personnel showcased a huge rifle drill.
न 2017 में जब अंबिकापुर में ट्रेनिंग दिलवा रही थी तब मैंने उधर का माहौल देखा कि महिलाएं बिल्कुल उस तरह से फ्रीडम में नहीं था. उस तरह से उनके एक रेस्ट्रिक्शन था कि आप ये कर सकते हो, ये नहीं कर सकते हो, इधर नहीं जा सकते हो. 2017-16 में भी मैंने ये चीज़ देखा, जबकि वो आज जो चीज़ है आज बिल्कुल चेंज है. जब मैं श्रीनगर में ड्यूटी कर रही थी तभी भी मैंने देखा महिलाएं निकल के रात को 6, 7, 8 बजे तक भी ड्यूटी कर रहे हैं.
A presentation by the women pipe band and drummers were also displayed in the event.
पूरी दुनिया के आगे एक संदेश है कि भारत जब आज़ादी का अमृत महोत्सव मना रहा है तो विमेन एम्पावरमेंट से हटकर हम लोग विमेन लेड डेवलपमेंट की बात कर रहे हैं. तो जो लीडरशिप की पोजीशंस हैं उसमें महिलाएं रहें, आगे बढ़कर अपनी भागीदारी सुनिश्चित करें. और वही सीआरपीएफ ने आज करके दिखाया कि जगदलपुर जैसी क्षेत्र जो कि बहुत ही कठिन क्षेत्र रहा है पूर्व में और सीआरपीएफ के जो फोर्स है उसने मिलकर वहां पर शांति स्थापित की है.
CRPF, a force with nearly 3.5 lakh personnel, is responsible for ensuring security in the Maoist-affected areas across the country as well as in terror-hit Jammu and Kashmir. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 10 years, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी आल्सो.
सर इट्स अ पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम.
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स
बिल्कुल
जी.
आपकी फौज में भी यही है. डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू. आपके पास गन है बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना. यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट. दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग. सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से.
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, एनएसजी, गरुड़, मार्कोस. किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब तो ही वाज एट दैट टाइम CEO of 6AR और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी.
अच्छा.
टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप इनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुकरी ट्रेन करो. जब मैंने ADG इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा. एज लॉन्ग एज आवर सोल्जर्स आर सेफ, दे गेट द बेस्ट, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम.
media is quiet about it. Not emphatically, not vocally, not till Republic named and shamed them about their silence over Lance Naik Prabhu's death. Look at this man. He's the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, and as our reporter runs after him to ask him to say one thing, he says not one word. He just keeps running away from the Republic reporters.
All the 9 of the accused have been taken to custody. The primary accused, Chinnasamy, had been picked up by the CID and handed over to the Tamil Nadu cops.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी ऑल्सो.
सर इट्स अ पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम.
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स
बिल्कुल
जी.
आपकी फौज में भी यही है. डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू. आपके पास गन है बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना. यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग. सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से.
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, एनएसजी, गरुड़, मार्कोस. किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वाज एट दैट टाइम सीओ ऑफ 6AR और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी.
अच्छा.
टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप इनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुकरी ट्रेन करो. जब मैंने एडीजी इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा. एज लॉन्ग एज आवर सोल्जर्स आर सेफ, दे गेट द बेस्ट, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम.
Soldier of the Indian Army has been murdered by a politician, and the Latvians media is quiet about it. Not emphatically, not vocally, not till Republic named and shamed them about their silence over Lance Naik Prabhu's death. Look at this man. He's the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, and as our reporter runs after him to ask him to say one thing, he says not one word. He just keeps running away from the Republic reporters.
All the 9 of the accused have been taken to custody. The primary accused, Chinnasamy, had been picked up by the CID and handed over to the Tamil Nadu cops.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी ऑल्सो.
सर इट्स अ पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम.
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स
बिल्कुल
जी.
आपकी फौज में भी यही है. डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू. आपके पास गन है बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना. यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग. सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से.
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, एनएसजी, गरुड़, मार्कोस. किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वाज एट दैट टाइम सीओ ऑफ 6AR और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी.
अच्छा.
टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप इनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुकरी ट्रेन करो. जब मैंने एडीजी इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया,
उनका अभी एफर्ट ये है कि किसी भी तरीके से ईडी डाल दो, धमका दो, डरा दो, लेकिन हम भी मोदी जी से और भारतीय जनता पार्टी से और पूरे देश की जनता से बता दें कि हम डरने वालों से नहीं हैं।
Summoned by the Enforcement Directorate in connection with Liquorgate, Kavita launching a scathing attack on the BJP. Trouble mounts for Arvind Kejriwal's deputy. The ED team continues round 2 of Sisodia's grilling at the Tihar jail. In dock for Bribegate, the BJP MLA Virupakshappa evades questions as Republic confronts him. Pulwama martyrs' widows are blocked from meeting the Rajasthan Chief Minister after a U-turn on his promises. NCP support to the BJP alliance in Nagaland, triggering a big political war. Owaisi now hitting back at Sharad Pawar. And India's cricket diplomacy on display. The Prime Minister watches the test match with his Australian counterpart. A very good evening. You're watching Republic and I'm Deepthi Sachdeva. Let's begin this edition of the news with this big update coming in. This is about Manish Sisodia. Remember, trouble continues to mount for him after the CBI. It's the Enforcement Directorate right now that is questioning Manish Sisodia, who's housed in the Tihar jail. And do remember, this again is a story that not just Republic has tracked, but we've also got you a lot of inside track as to what really this ongoing probe in the Delhi excise policy case with the ED will be all about. Now, earlier on Tuesday, you would recall that the ED had questioned, also recorded the statement of Manish Sisodia. The probe agency has also made a fresh arrest in the case as it has taken into custody the Hyderabad-based businessman Arun Pillai. Sisodia was arrested on the 26th of February. This is an ongoing investigation of a case related to alleged irregularities in the framing and the implementation of the excise policy. Delhi's Rouse Avenue Court later sent him to judicial custody till March the 20th, and tomorrow is when the court will hear Sisodia's bail plea. And before that, Shravan, you're getting us more details of what possibly could be more trouble brewing in for Manish Sisodia.
Well, in fact, Deepthi, there is a high possibility that the Enforcement Directorate will go ahead with the coercive action in this particular case after questioning the former Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, Manish Sisodia. In fact, on similar lines of what the Central Bureau of Investigation had essentially found in their investigation, the Enforcement Directorate is largely focusing on the fact that whether at all, one, there was a leakage on the part of Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia of the draft excise policy. Was it given to the South lobby particularly before the excise policy was formulated or, for that matter, implemented? In fact, they've come across evidence suggesting that the draft policy was actually typed at the camp office of the former Deputy Chief Minister. And soon after that, a copy of it was actually leaked on WhatsApp to the other accused in this particular case. That is the reason why they are saying that somewhere down the line they believe that Manish Sisodia was actually aware of what was actually happening in terms of a favorable excise policy that was being drafted. They're looking at the profit margin that was deliberately changed by the group of ministers, including Manish Sisodia and others like Satendra Jain. But in all likelihood, we're expecting this development to take place sometime later in the evening. Having said that, the Aam Aadmi Party has already preempted that he's going to be placed under arrest because his bail plea is coming up for hearing tomorrow.
All right. So, Shravan, you do get us a larger sense of that story that Sisodia's arrest is imminent. Before I let you go, now how difficult in a position is in Manish Sisodia right now, Shravan, considering that the charges are mounting after the CBI, it's the ED now coming in, and with the ED it will also be the Prevention of the Money Laundering Act, where the onus is essentially going to be on Manish Sisodia to prove his innocence.
Well, the line that has been taken by Manish Sisodia and, for that matter, the Aam Aadmi Party is that where exactly is the money? They're saying, what is the scam all about? And if at all there was quid pro quo, then why is it that the Central Bureau of Investigation and the Enforcement Directorate, through multiple searches, could not find a single penny? The rationale behind that is this. The Enforcement Directorate, during their investigation, has essentially come across the fact that there was an upfront commission that was paid, and that advance payment was roughly about 100 crore rupees that was given by the South Lobby through Vijay Nair and Dinesh Arora. In fact, they say that the transaction has essentially happened through the Hawala network. That is the reason why perhaps no money was actually lying in the accounts of Manish Sisodia. In fact, the investigative agencies find this entire argument extremely laughable when they say that if a crime has been committed, you certainly do not expect someone to basically park that money in their bank account. This is money that was essentially routed through Hawala transactions. And that is how it finally landed up in the state of Goa, where the Aam Aadmi Party utilized roughly about 30 crore rupees for carrying out a survey in the state of Goa. In fact, they also suspect that the money was actually used for Punjab elections, but they say that work is under progress, and they're still looking at finding out about the money trail of the 70 crore rupees.
All right, Shravan, we trust you to keep us ahead on any breaking development. But even as we speak, remember the Enforcement Directorate is grilling Manish Sisodia in the Tihar jail. Could an arrest happen? It's anyone's guess, but Republic is going to be tracking that story and getting you every fact that comes out. But as I say, thank you to Shravan. Remember, the story has moved on from Delhi to the south. Now, because there is a mention of the South cartel here. This is about the BRS MLC and the Telangana Chief Minister's daughter K. Kavita, who has received summons from the Enforcement Directorate for questioning in the Delhi excise policy case and she has said that she's going to be holding a hunger strike in the national capital tomorrow. Now, what she's also asserted that there are going to be 18 political parties that have assured to participate in the protest. The BRS leader also said that she will face the Enforcement Directorate as she has not done anything wrong. Now, look at what she says. She's played the Telangana card, now she's playing the woman card. Now, she says that if a woman has to be interrogated by a central agency, then as per law, she has a quote-unquote fundamental right to be questioned at her home. She has earlier launched a no-holds-barred attack on the Modi government. We listen into what we heard from her, followed by more reactions that have come in.
देखिए, फ्रेंडली उनके जितने भी पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज होते हैं, उन पे कोई रेड नहीं होता है. फ्रेंडली उनके जितने भी बिजनेस हाउसेस हैं, उन पे कोई रेड नहीं होता है. उन सबके लिए तो 7 खून माफ हो जाते हैं. अब अदानी जी ले लीजिए, बाकी बहुत लोग हैं, उन पे तो कुछ नहीं होता है. और आज तो इतना चर्चा है पूरे देश भर में कि देश में डबल इंजन सरकार चल रहा है. और ये 2 इंजन कौन है देश में? एक इंजन प्रधानी है, दूसरा इंजन अदानी है. तो ये हालत आज देश में है. तो ये बच्चा जान चुका है. जिस तरीके से मोदी जी अपने आप को क्लीन बताते थे, साफ बताते थे, वो है नहीं. और श्रीलंकन गवर्नमेंट भी यहाँ आके बोल के गया है कि अदानी जी के लिए आप मोदी जी खुद जाके बोले कि इनको प्रोजेक्ट देना है. तो इस तरीके के सब बात सामने आ रहे हैं. तो ये छुपाने के लिए आप विपक्षों पे ईडी का वार कर रहे हो. वो ठीक है, हम विपक्ष है, जेल लेंगे, हम पॉलिटिशियन हैं. लेकिन जनता पे जो महंगाई का आप वार कर रहे हो ना, वो जरूर आपको आगे इलेक्शन में रिजल्ट दिखाएगा. मोदी जी, आप काम उस पर करिए. मेरा विनंती ये है भारतीय जनता पार्टी से, प्लीज वर्क ऑन रिड्यूसिंग द प्राइसेस, प्लीज वर्क ऑन गिविंग मोर सब्सिडीज, प्लीज वर्क ऑन गिविंग मोर जॉब्स. व्हाट विल यू गेट आउट ऑफ टॉर्चरिंग पीपल लाइक अस? आप करिए, हम बात करेंगे, हम जरूर फेस करेंगे ईडी को. लेकिन आपके बीएल संतोष जी से भी बोलिए, जरा हमारे तेलंगाना में आके सिट के सामने पेश हो जाए, आंसर करे, क्वेश्चन आंसर करे. किस बात की डर है आप? हमने गलती नहीं किया, हम तो आ रहे हैं ईडी में, हम कल भी जाएंगे. आपको जो करना है करिए, जो लीगल कोर्स है, लीगल एक्शन है, हम पूरा आपसे कोऑपरेट करेंगे.
All I'm saying is allegations by Enforcement Directorate in this country. They've already registered more than 5,422 cases. Conviction in only 23 cases. So what is happening in this country? They're using ED as a tool to harass other opposition parties. Even more strangers, even before ED sends summons, the entire local BJP will start speaking. Pampichestamu, rape samanlu vastayi, ellundi samanlu vastayi. So is it not a fact that ED, IT and CBI are extended arms of Narendra Modi?
ये बिल्कुल झूठ है जो केटीआर ने बोला है। मैं भी फॉलो करी उनका प्रेस मीट। वो ऐसे दिख रहे थे कि बहुत फ्रस्ट्रेशन में है, इतने फ्रस्ट्रेशन में हैं। ये लोग सोच रहे थे कि तेलंगाना में भारतीय जनता पार्टी मतलब बीआरएस के खिलाफ कोई पार्टी नहीं रहेगा, सब पार्टी को यहाँ ख़त्म कर देंगे। कांग्रेस को ख़त्म कर दिए तो बीजेपी को भी यहाँ तो उतना नहीं आ ही नहीं पाएगी, ये वो सोच में थे। जब बीजेपी तेलंगाना में एकदम लोगों तक नीचे तक पहुँच गई है, नरेंद्र मोदी का जो नाम हर दिल में आज है, हर गांव में हर एक आदमी आज नरेंद्र मोदी जी के बारे में बोलते हैं। जो गरीब कल्याण योजना में जो राइस हर गांव में हर गरीब को जो दे रहा है, तो फार्मर को हर इसमें आज मोदी का चरिश्मा और भारतीय जनता पार्टी जो बढ़ रही है तेलंगाना में, वो लोगों को सह नहीं पा रहे हैं। बिहार
It's time for us to head into a quick break. On the other side, in Dock for Bribegate, the BJP MLA Virupakshapa evades questions as Republic confronts him. Also, the NCP support to the BJP alliance in the state of Nagaland has triggered a huge political war. The first reaction from Owaisi is already out. We get you that and much more after this quick break.
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, एनएसजी, गरुड़, मार्कोस। किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वाज एट दैट टाइम CEO of 6AR और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी। अच्छा। टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप इनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुखरी ट्रेन करो। जब मैंने ADG इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा, एज लॉन्ग एज आवर सोल्जर्स आर सेफ, दे गेट द बेस्ट, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम।
Soldier of the Indian Army has been murdered by a politician and the Latvian media is quiet about it. Not emphatically, not vocally, not till Republic named and shamed them about their silence over Lance Naik Prabhu's death. Look at this man. He's the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, and as our reporter runs after him to ask him to say one thing, he says not one word. He just keeps running away from the Republic reporters.
All the 9 of the accused have been taken to custody. The primary accused, Chinnasamy, had been picked up by the CID and handed over to the Tamil Nadu cops.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी आल्सो।
सर, इट्स अ पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम।
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स
बिल्कुल जी। आपकी फौज में भी यही है, डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू। आपके पास गन है बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना। यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग। सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से।
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, एनएसजी, गरुड़, मार्कोस। किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वाज एट दैट टाइम CEO of 6AR और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी। अच्छा। टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप इनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुखरी ट्रेन करो। जब मैंने ADG इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा, एज लॉन्ग एज आवर सोल्जर्स आर सेफ, दे गेट द बेस्ट, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम।
Lutyens media is quiet about it. Not emphatically, not vocally.
So here you can see now the water cannon has been started by the Chandigarh police to control the law and order situation. And in fact, just because the protesters are trying to cross the barricades, but now the police has applied the force after lathi charge. The water cannons are here. Water cannons are here to control the situation in Chandigarh just because BJP has given the call to protest. BJP has given the call to protest against the law and order situation of Punjab and to Gherao Punjab Vidhan Sabha. But now when the situation is went out of control, the police has...
All right, we're getting this big breaking update right now. A story that Republic, remember, has been tracking very, very closely. The first confirmation coming in that the former Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, Manish Sisodia, now has been arrested officially by the Enforcement Directorate. It's a huge setback and a huge problem right now that will be facing Manish Sisodia, who, remember, in all likelihood was to apply for his bail tomorrow. This is after the CBI, remember, had said that they do not need his custody anymore. But the Enforcement Directorate has been grilling Manish Sisodia for the last few hours in the Tihar jail. And at the end of which now we are learning that Manish Sisodia has been put under arrest by the Enforcement Directorate. Now, what really happens next and what really does this mean for Manish Sisodia? Shavan joining us. He has more details. Shavan, what happens next from here on?
Well, it only makes it very difficult for Manish Sisodia to now step out of Tihar jail to begin with, because remember, when the bail application comes up for hearing tomorrow, that is going to be essentially on the plea that was filed against the Central Bureau of Investigation. So even if a decision is taken, and assuming that a bail is granted, that would be in the case of the Central Bureau of Investigation. Manish Sisodia will now have to perhaps file a separate bail plea altogether as far as the recent arrest that has now been made. In fact, we can now confirm that Manish Sisodia was arrested around 6:20 in the evening. 6:20 is when he has been placed under formal arrest is what we are picking up at this point in time. And that's the big breaking news coming in first on Republic TV. In fact, what is essentially going to happen right now, Deepthi, is the fact that they're going to take custody of Manish Sisodia. He's no longer going to be in judicial custody. He will now be in the custody of the Enforcement Directorate. They're going to perhaps put out more details of it in the court tomorrow. Once he's produced before the court, when they're going to take further custody. In fact, what they believe is that they've essentially come across enough evidence to suggest that the excise department, which was essentially being handled by Manish Sisodia, was responsible for drafting a policy which only favored a select few players. In fact, those licensees benefited from this excise policy, who essentially had a close connection with the former Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi. And secondly, advance payment of 100 crore rupees was already given. Advance payment of 100 crore rupees was given to the Aam Aadmi Party. In fact, there were meetings that took place of the recoupment of this particular advance payment soon after the excise policy was actually implemented. Those secret meetings actually happened in the national capital. What we are given to understand is the fact that these meetings took place in a very clandestine manner. In fact, when the draft policy was actually typed at the camp office of Manish Sisodia, immediately after that, a copy of the same was actually shared with some of those who participated in the tendering process. And more importantly, they have also come across digital evidence to the effect that certain suggestions were actually given by the South lobby to Manish Sisodia and his group, and that was basically incorporated in the draft excise policy. These are the allegations that have been leveled so far against the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, the former Deputy Chief Minister. In fact, we are now given to understand that following the arrest, the recent arrests that have been made, they've also come across further evidence, and that is the reason why we are now essentially looking at this particular case getting far more complicated for Manish Sisodia.
Now, you know, Shravan, why don't you explain to us that when does the ED go ahead and make an arrest in a case like this? Because till now, you know, the Aam Aadmi Party has been saying, where is the money trail? There has not been any kind of a recovery. But does this mean that perhaps there is more evidence that the ED has, and in the entire grilling, the 2 rounds of grilling that the Enforcement Directorate has carried on vis-a-vis Manish Sisodia, possibly there is more evidence that merits an arrest under the PMLA Act?
Well, Deepthi, if you take a look at the scheduled offences are Section 120B, which is a criminal conspiracy, and Section 7 of the Prevention of Corruption Act. This is both these sections are scheduled offences, and due to which this case has been now taken by the Enforcement Directorate. Because unless you have a predicate offence, the PMLA Act does not come into the picture. Now, with both these sections being invoked by the Central Bureau of Investigation.
All right, what we'll do is we'll quickly head into a break right now. But on the other side, we keep our focus on that big story. More trouble brewing in for Manish Sisodia after the CBI, it's the Enforcement Directorate, ladies and gentlemen, that has put him under arrest. What really does that mean? More details on the other side of this very quick break.
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, एनएसजी, गरुड़, मार्कोस. किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वाज एट दैट टाइम सीओ ऑफ 6AR, और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी.
अच्छा.
टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट, एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप इनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुकरी ट्रेन करो. जब मैंने एडीजी इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा, एज लॉन्ग एज आवर सोल्जर्स आर सेफ, दे गेट द बेस्ट, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम.
A serving soldier of the Indian Army has been murdered by a politician, and the Latvian media is quiet about it. Not emphatically, not vocally, not till Republic named and shamed them about their silence over Lance Naik Prabhu's death. Look at this man. He's the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, and as our reporter runs after him to ask him to say one thing, he says not one word. He just keeps running away from the Republic reporters.
All the 9 of the accused have been taken to custody. The primary accused, Chinnasamy, had been picked up by the CID and handed over to the Tamil Nadu cops.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी आल्सो.
सर, इट्स अ पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम.
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स.
बिल्कुल.
जी.
आपकी फौज में भी यही है. डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू. आपके पास गन है, बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना. यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग. सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से.
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, एनएसजी, गरुड़, मार्कोस. किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वाज एट दैट टाइम सीओ ऑफ 6AR, और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी.
अच्छा.
टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट, एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप इनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुकरी ट्रेन करो. जब मैंने एडीजी इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा, एज लॉन्ग एज आवर सोल्जर्स आर सेफ, दे गेट द बेस्ट, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम.
accusation and the Lutyens media is quiet about it. Not emphatically, not vocally, not till Republic named and shamed them about their silence over Lance Naik Prabhu's death. Look at this man. He's the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, and as our reporter runs after him to ask him to say one thing, he says not one word. He just keeps running away from the Republic reporters.
All the 9 of the accused have been taken to custody. The primary accused, Chinnasamy, had been picked up by the CID and handed over to the Tamil Nadu cops.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी आल्सो।
सर इट्स अ पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम।
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स
बिल्कुल
जी।
आपकी फौज में भी यही है, डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू। आपके पास गन है बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना। यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग। सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से।
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, एनएसजी, गरुड़, मार्कोस। किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वाज एट दैट टाइम CEO ऑफ 6AR और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी।
अच्छा।
टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप इनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुकरी ट्रेन करो। जब मैंने ADG इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा, एज लॉन्ग एज आवर सोल्जर्स आर सेफ, दे गेट द बेस्ट, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम।
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 10 years, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, mass-comm, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
A serving soldier of the Indian Army.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी आल्सो।
सर इट्स अ पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम।
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स
बिल्कुल
जी।
आपकी फौज में भी यही है, डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू। आपके पास गन है बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना। यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग। सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से।
Kavita summoned in Liquorgate. Kavita says BJP pursuing vendetta politics. Can BJP take the higher moral ground? Debating tonight at 9 p.m.
you for joining us here on Republic TV. About 20 minutes back, Republic TV broke the news of the arrest of Manish Sisodia. It comes a day before a court will hear his bail petition. So after the CBI, he's been arrested by the Enforcement Directorate, which is also investigating the liquor scam in Delhi. Here are the headlines. After the CBI, Enforcement Directorate has arrested Aam Aadmi Party's Manish Sisodia. Once again, Republic getting the news first, at least 10 minutes before all other channels on the arrest of Manish Sisodia. Liquorgate storm. K. Kavita will also be at the Enforcement Directorate on Saturday. His sister is called by the ED for questioning. KTR attacks ED, calls it Modi summons to K. Kavita. BJP MLA Virupakshappa is at the Lokayukta in Karnataka over the Bribegate controversy over the wards of cash. His questioning continues. Also on tape today, BJP MP from Kolar, Muniswamy, seen shouting at a woman over bindi. Moral policing on camera. Cricket diplomacy on display as Prime Minister Modi and his Australian counterpart Albanese show up at the fourth test as India-Australia face off at the Border Gavaskar Trophy. And the biggest story this evening, the arrest of Aam Aadmi Party's Manish Sisodia. Until recently, the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, Manish Sisodia, was arrested last weekend by the CBI being investigated in the liquor scam. It's one story that's having big impact from Delhi to Hyderabad, where K. Kavita took a flight last evening to reach the national capital. Ahead of a summons on Saturday, she will be questioned by the Enforcement Directorate on the money trail in liquor scam. The Enforcement Directorate has arrested Manish Sisodia. He was earlier arrested by the CBI, now arrested by the Enforcement Directorate as well. So this could be a big setback to him ahead of his bail hearing on Friday. Manish Sisodia continues to get the backing, the support of his party, the Aam Aadmi Party, and Arvind Kejriwal, who claim that agencies have been unleashed on both the Aam Aadmi Party and BRS in this case, as K. Kavita has also been summoned. As far as the agencies go, they claim that there is money trail, there are details available of a cartel that operated and almost drafted the excise policy. That's a tweet, meanwhile, of Arvind Kejriwal. He's just tweeted saying that Manish was first arrested by the CBI. CBI did not find any evidence. No money was found in the raid. There is a bail hearing tomorrow. Manish Sisodia would have been released tomorrow. So today, ED arrested him. They have only one aim: to keep Manish inside at all costs by creating new fake cases every day. That's Arvind Kejriwal's tweet. If you just scroll down, just pan the camera a little bit. The last sentence he says that fake cases are being filed every day and that the public is watching and that the public will answer. That's Arvind Kejriwal's tweet. And this arrest comes a day before the bail petition of Manish Sisodia would have been heard in the courts in the national capital. So after CBI, he's been arrested by the Enforcement Directorate. We've been tracking the story very, very closely. Let me also go across to Shravan Sen, my colleague, who will be joining us on the phone line. Shravan Sen broke the story at least 10 to 15 minutes before any other channel even had a clue that Manish Sisodia had been arrested. The official time of arrest, we are told, is about 6:20. 6:20. Republic TV broke the story a little after 6:35. And we have the details of why the Enforcement Directorate also is looking at this story very closely. There is a money angle involved. There are transactions. And the remand copy of the ED, the Enforcement Directorate, claim that that at least 100 crore could have changed hands in this particular case. And that is why, that's one of the reasons why they've also called in K. Kavita for an angle that they're looking at, which is called the South Group. The angle is a South Group angle, and they claim that there was a group from the south of India, from mostly Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. There is a YSRCP link and a BRS link that the ED claims to this entire liquor scam. So yesterday we showed you what the South Group was all about. We will put out that flow chart on your screen right now of what the ED is investigating specifically in the case of the BRS and the YSRCP. In the case of BRS, K. Kavita has been summoned to the national capital, and she will be questioned on Saturday. She spoke to the media today. Her brother KT Ramarao also held a news conference in Hyderabad while attacking the agencies and claiming it was not a summons by the ED but a summons by Modi. Now it's become political and it's getting very, very ugly. That's where the story stands this evening. We'll also play out what K. Kavita said, what KTR said, because this is a story that is cutting across different parties, from the Aam Aadmi Party to the YSRCP to the BRS. We'll try and get you voices live from all sides. KTR spoke to the media. Kavita spoke to the media. We have their sound bites. We'll just play out their sound bites in just a few seconds from now. Harish Khurana, meanwhile, let's get in the first response from BJP and then go across and tell you what's been happening through the day. Harish Khurana is joining us on the phone line. Harish Khurana of the BJP. Harish Khurana, your party is being accused of staging this entire issue, claiming that agencies are being unleashed on the opposition. Arvind Kejriwal has just tweeted saying that you needed an excuse to have him in custody, and that's why he's been arrested by the ED.
See, Aam Aadmi Party is in a habit of giving a certificate of honesty to himself. They're very much in a hurry of giving the certificate. We have seen that at the time of the Satyajit Jain arrest. You remember they were saying we are honest people, we are Kattar Imandar, but Centre is playing a role because the Himachal elections are coming in. What has happened? Since 9 months, Satyajit Jain is in jail on the order of the court, not by the CBI or the ED. The same thing which has happened in the Vijayanagara case also. The same thing has happened in the Manish Sisodia case in the CBI court also. That they have not given the bail yet. Please, we will take it tomorrow. But the thing is, it's a serious matter. You remember, few days back only, they were saying the ED has given a clean sheet to us. Kuch nahi mila ji. CBI has given a kuch nahi mila ji. They have given a certificate of honesty to the benefit. Now, when the 100 crore rupees allegation has come out and the money laundering has come out, it's a serious allegation. And now, Arvind Kejriwal, we all know that because of the Arvind Kejriwal only, this government is running, and without no decision has been taken, without the prior information by the approval by the Arvind Kejriwal. So what we feel, this investigation will go on to Arvind Kejriwal.
But Mr. Khurana, a lot of people also asking, while we talk about this case and you know the agencies must do their job, they certainly should. But there is certainly a contrast that is also throwing up. See, I'll tell you why. There is a contrast here to what is happening in Karnataka, where a BJP MLA is facing very serious charges. There was cash found at his house, at his residence, and despite that, he was allowed to go absconding for nearly 3 to 4 days. You see, and he's back at the Lokayukta today, and people are asking why the agencies are not investigating him. So what would be your party's response to that?
There are two things. Who has arrested? The Karnataka government, who is in power, BJP in power. And if he got the bail, by whom? By the court, not by any of the agency, by the BJP only. So I think we should respect what the court is saying. We should respect what the law will take their own course. The same thing will happen in this case also. If Manish Sisodia has done nothing wrong, why he has been arrested? Because of some primary charges where he has been arrested, and Satyajit Jain is not getting the bail, and court is also saying that there is a lot of things, corruption has happened in that case also. So my thing is, we should believe in what the court says, and what the law will take their own course. Let them do it now. Why are we making the vendetta issues, vendetta politics going on? No, I don't think so. They should face the law. They should come up with what the proof they have it. Let the court law decide.
Okay, let's see where the story goes. Harish Khurana, thank you for speaking to Republic TV. Hari, the first response coming in from the BJP to the arrest of Manish Sisodia. Let's listen in to what K. Kavita said. It's going to be a fiery next 2-3 days. K. Kavita has been summoned by the Enforcement Directorate on Saturday. Here's what she said and what her brother has been saying in Hyderabad. The story is developing. Multiple parties, multiple people under investigation. Shravan is also joining us on the phone line. Okay, before I go across to Shravan, let's listen into what the others who are under scanner have been saying in this case.
फ्रेंडली उनके जितने भी पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज होते हैं उन पे कोई रेड नहीं होता है। फ्रेंडली उनके जितने भी बिजनेस हाउसेस हैं उन पे कोई रेड नहीं होता है। उन सब के लिए तो साल खून माफ हो जाते हैं। अब अदानी जी ले लीजिए, बाकी बहुत लोग हैं, उन पे तो कुछ नहीं होता है। और आज तो इतना चर्चा है पूरे देश भर में कि देश में डबल इंजन सरकार चल रहा है। और ये दो इंजन कौन है देश में? एक इंजन प्रधानी है, दूसरा इंजन अदानी है। तो ये हालत आज देश में है। तो ये बच्चा जान चुका है। जिस तरीके से मोदी जी अपने आप को क्लीन बताते थे, साफ बताते थे, वो है नहीं। और श्रीलंकन गवर्नमेंट भी यहाँ आके बोल के गया है कि अदानी जी के लिए आप मोदी जी खुद जाके बोले कि इनको प्रोजेक्ट देना है। तो इस तरीके के सब बात सामने आ रहे हैं। तो ये छुपाने के लिए आप विपक्षों पे ईडी का वार कर रहे हो। वो ठीक है, हम विपक्ष है, जेल लेंगे, हम पॉलिटिशियन हैं, लेकिन जनता पे जो महंगाई का आप वार कर रहे हो ना, वो जरूर आपको आगे इलेक्शन में रिजल्ट दिखाएगा। मोदी जी, आप काम उस पे करिए। मेरा विनंती ये है भारतीय जनता पार्टी से, प्लीज वर्क ऑन रिड्यूसिंग द प्राइसेस, प्लीज वर्क ऑन गिविंग मोर सब्सिडीज, प्लीज वर्क ऑन गिविंग मोर जॉब्स। व्हाट विल यू गेट आउट ऑफ टॉर्चरिंग पीपल लाइक अस? आप करिए, हम बात करेंगे, हम जरूर फेस करेंगे ईडी को। लेकिन आपके बीएल संतोष जी से भी बोलिए जरा हमारे तेलंगाना में आके सिट के सामने पेश हो जाए, आंसर करे, क्वेश्चन आंसर करे। किस बात की डर है आप? हमने गलती नहीं किया, हम तो आ रहे हैं ईडी में, हम कल भी जाएंगे। आपको जो करना है करिए, जो लीगल कोर्स है, लीगल एक्शन है, हम पूरा आपसे कोऑपरेट करेंगे।
All I'm saying is allegations by Enforcement Directorate in this country. They've already registered more than 5,422 cases. Conviction in only 23 cases. So what is happening in this country? They are using ED as a tool to harass other.
Okay, let me go across to RP Singh of the BJP joining us on the phone line, get one reaction, and then I'm going across to Shravan as well. Shravan and Abhishek also joining us, and then we go across to another big story coming in from Karnataka. Okay, RP Singh. Kejriwal says he's been arrested to ensure that he stays in custody. I think we lost the line with RP Singh there. So Abhishek, okay, RP Singh is there. Quick question, RP Singh, how do you respond to what Arvind Kejriwal has been saying and the BJP?
Mr. Kejriwal had 6 months since the investigation started on Mr. Sisodia. He could have gone to court and got the matter quashed. He could have got the affair quashed. Then last 4 weeks, Vijay Nair, the kingpin, was allocated the ministerial bungalow. Kailash Garod's bungalow was in custody. No one went to court to get his affair quashed. Fact is, money was routed from the South Lobby to Vijay Nair and from there to Goa. You remember the Aam Aadmi Party workers were caught red-handed in Goa distributing money. And when they were asked, investigated, they said we received the money from Delhi. So this whole of this network need to be taken care, and then ED and CBI put together will do the needful.
Yeah, but you know, RP Singh, there are many questions also that remain. I'm just coming back to, because Shravan has some breaking news updates with us. Shravan, what are you picking up? Why has the Enforcement Directorate now arrested him?
Well, it was certainly on the expected lines. There is nothing very surprising about the coercive action that has been taken by the Enforcement Directorate, especially given the fact that they believe that they've come across hard evidence as far as money laundering is concerned. They've been indicating the fact that there has been a destruction of evidence on the part of the former Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, Manish Sisodia. They also say that there was a deliberate attempt that was essentially made to leak the draft policy, and the fact that they have incorporated the suggestions that were essentially made by the South Lobby. In fact, what they find it extremely surprising is the very fact that The draft policy was actually typed at the camp office of the former Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia when it should have been at the excise department office.
Shravan, leaving it at that only because I have to take a short break. Leaving it at that, quick question from Abhishek. Abhishek is joining us. Abhishek, just wanted your analysis also because, you know, there are two stories right now we're focusing on. One is Liquorgate, where, you know, the Aam Aadmi Party has been saying there's no cash found, there's nothing found, right? Visually, you're trying to go after Manish Sisodia. The BRS claims that K. Kavita is being hounded. The ED talks about the South Group and 100 crore kickbacks. They claim that they found the trail. Now contrast that to the story in Karnataka, where a Karnataka BJP MLA's son caught red-handed, reportedly by the Lokayukta. Lokayukta has gone on record to say 8 crore in cash. The cash can be seen, the money is there, and yet there is an attempt perhaps to shield him, right? Because for 4 days he was nowhere to be seen, right? There are gaps in this perception battle, Abhishek.
Niranjan, obviously the BJP has to respond and take ownership of what's happening in Karnataka. The fact of the matter is that the conduct of their MLA and the district, their leadership in the constituency where this has happened of the MLA, it's really not something which the party would be proud of. And obviously to that extent, you had that statement from the party chief Katil that they are embarrassed with the conduct and action would be taken, hopefully very soon. Having said that, insofar as the Liquorgate scam is concerned, see, it's nobody's case, including that of ED and CBI, that they were going after Manish Sisodia because they thought that the money would be found from his residence. As much as money has not been found, so also the mobile phones which were used and the SIM cards that were used and frequently changed. So it's about actually a manner in which political financing has been used through changes in this liquor policy, and that's something which is being investigated. So it's not the case that money should have been found on Manish Sisodia, but the fact that he facilitated certain changes in the policy which helped the cartel from the south, and they in turn gave kickbacks, and that's something which is being investigated now.
Yeah, thank you, Abhishek. I'm taking a break now, but when we come back, the story from Karnataka we have to talk about. There's another story, not the Bribegate story, but another story where a BJP MP is seen shouting down on a woman trader. We were starting the show with that when the news broke of Manish Sisodia's arrest. But we'll take a short break and we'll come back and tell you what happened. Stay tuned.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 10 years. With top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी आल्सो.
सर इट्स अ पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम.
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स
बिल्कुल
जी.
आपकी फौज में भी यही है. डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू. आपके पास गन है बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना. यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग. सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से.
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, एनएसजी, गरुड़, मार्कोस. किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वाज एट दैट टाइम सीओ ऑफ 6AR और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी.
अच्छा.
टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप इनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुकरी ट्रेन करो. जब मैंने एडीजी इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा. एज लॉन्ग एज आवर सोल्जर्स आर सेफ, दे गेट द बेस्ट, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम.
Not emphatically, not vocally, not till Republic named and shamed them about their silence over Lance Naik Prabhu's death. Look at this man. He's the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, and as our reporter runs after him to ask him to say one thing, he says not one word. He just keeps running away from the Republic reporters.
All the 9 of the accused have been taken to custody. The primary accused, Chinnasamy, had been picked up by the CID and handed over to the Tamil Nadu cops.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक
On the biggest story tonight, back with the sequence of a BJP MP from Karnataka. His name is Muniswamy, a Kolar MP, Kolar district in Karnataka. Here's what happened, and then we have two panelists with us. But first up, take a look at what happened this morning.
ಬಟ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಏ ಕೊಡಮ್ಮ ಅಮ್ಮನ್ಕ ಗಂಡ ಬದುಕಿದಂತಾನೆ
ಎಂತವ್ದು ಅಂತ ಈಗ
Smriti Haritz, spokesperson of the BJP Karnataka, and Brinda Adige joining us, was a little taken aback after looking at that video. Smriti, would you back what he just did?
See, I think personal statements and personal views are very different from views that are endorsed by a party. I would firstly like to put on record saying that the party does not endorse the views of this particular MLA that has spoken up. And I'm sure that whatever disciplinary action that needs to be taken will be taken against him. But moreover, I think one needs to realize that a bindi is the most beautiful accessory that a woman can wear. Whether she wants to sport that or not is completely her choice. But I don't think we need to get offended by a remark like this.
No, but who is he?
There have been countless examples, of politicians across, party lines who've made several derogatory remarks.
No, I agree with you, Smriti. Smriti, here on Republic we've questioned. Smriti, trust me. No, I'm telling you something. No, hear me out. Here on Republic,
a woman who has shaked hips on television is doing is behaving like a sexologist. So we've had time and again.
No, 1 minute.
Male politicians who have said
Smriti, I thought Smriti.
So this is not a party thing.
Smriti, I'll tell you. Okay, I'm happy that you said that it's his, it's one isolated comment. It's, he was wrong, etc. And you won't defend it. But I'm really disappointed that you're trying to put qualifiers to it. Brinda Adige, he's an MP. He's an MP. Imagine this happened with any other party.
Absolutely right. This man is an MP, an elected representative of the citizens of this state. What audacity, incorrigible audacity that he dares to question that woman. Wear a bindi. You have named the shop Vaishnavi. Go, is your husband alive or not? Who the hell is he? How dare he humiliate her? With all your platitudes for bindi, that is fine. But that choice to wear the bindi or not ultimately rests only with that woman. No elected representative, no leader, no anybody has the right to question that woman. That MP of yours must apologize. And you must condone from your party side. Don't say personal this and personal that. He didn't go there saying, I have removed my personal MP badge and I have come here only as Muniswamy. He went there as MP Muniswamy of BJP.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a parliamentarian. In fact, I would like to see, and we will see whether the leaders from the BJP actually come out and distance from this, because I'm hearing that this didn't happen today but happened yesterday. I'll go back and check that. But if it did, it's even worse. On Women's Day, if this has happened, right? Perception-wise, I think you will have to do much more. Let's leave it at that for now. Smriti and Brinda, sorry I had to come to you really late, taking a short break now. And for now, thanking both of you. Thank you very much.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 10 years. with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी ऑल्सो.
सर इट्स अ पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम.
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स.
बिल्कुल
जी.
आपकी फौज में भी यही है. डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू. आपके पास गन है बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना. यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट. दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग. सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से.
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, एनएसजी, गरुड़, मार्कोस. किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वाज एट दैट टाइम सीओ ऑफ 6AR और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी.
अच्छा.
टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप इनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुखरी ट्रेन करो. जब मैंने एडीजी इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा. एज लॉन्ग एज आवर सोल्जर्स आर सेफ, दे गेट द बेस्ट, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम.
Soldier of the Indian Army has been murdered by a politician and the Latvian media is quiet about it. Not emphatically, not vocally, not till Republic named and shamed them about their silence over Lance Naik Prabhu's death. Look at this man. He's the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, and as our reporter runs after him to ask him to say one thing, he says not one word. He just keeps running away from the Republic reporters.
All the 9 of the accused have been taken to custody. The primary accused, Chinnasamy, had been picked up by the CID and handed over to the Tamil Nadu cops.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी ऑल्सो.
सर इट्स अ पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम.
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स.
बिल्कुल
जी.
आपकी फौज में भी यही है. डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू. आपके पास गन है बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना. यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट. दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग. सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से.
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, एनएसजी, गरुड़, मार्कोस. किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वाज एट दैट टाइम सीओ ऑफ 6AR और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी.
अच्छा.
टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप इनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुखरी ट्रेन करो. जब मैंने एडीजी इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा. एज लॉन्ग एज आवर सोल्जर्स आर सेफ, दे गेट द बेस्ट, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम.
Soldier of the Indian Army has been murdered by a politician and the Latvian media is quiet about it. Not emphatically, not vocally, not till Republic named and shamed them about their silence over Lance Naik Prabhu's death. Look at this man. He's the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, and as our reporter runs after him to ask him to say one thing, he says not one word. He just keeps running away from the Republic reporters.
All the 9 of the accused have been taken to custody. The primary accused, Chinnasamy, had been picked up by the CID and handed over to the Tamil Nadu cops.
ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी ऑल्सो।
सर इट्स अ पर्सनैलिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम।
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स
बिल्कुल
जी।
आपकी फौज में भी यही है, डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू। आपके पास गन है बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना। यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग। सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से।
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 10 years, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, एनएसजी, गरुड़, मार्कोस। किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वाज एट दैट टाइम CEO of 6AR और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी।
अच्छा।
टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप इनको नाइफ।
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Let's dive right into the top stories this hour on Superfast 50. Manish Sisodia has been arrested again, this time by the